Good afternoon, foodies. Welcome to Foodies Live, streaming from the Sub-Zero Wolf Kitchens in Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm Beth Cochran, and to quickly introduce you to the rest of the crew, we've got Mr. Nico on camera one and co-producing. Very festive, and his shirt is for sale, just so you know. And we've got Miss Megan on camera two, and Sir Kevin we just added to the mix. And in the kitchen we have the talented chef Dennis Frazier. He's going to be demonstrating some tailgating classics, some shrimp brochettes, and kind of a home
Chicago chili bag.
Yeah,
absolutely.
This is the first I've heard of these, so I'm really excited to
It's a shame.
learn about them.
It's a shame.
I know.
It's good stuff.
I feel like I got gypped growing up now. But we've also placed a football somewhere on the set, so be the first to spot the football and post it on our Facebook fan page. And if you're in the Phoenix area, we'll invite you down to join us for one of the upcoming broadcasts of Foodies Live. Otherwise, we'll be sure to give you a shout out on the next show. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to Chef Frazier.
Hey everyone, welcome to Foodies Live. It's me, Dennis Frazier from Cater Phoenix. Glad to be back here again on Foodies Live. When they called me, they said, hey, could you come do some tailgate food, maybe step outside of what you normally do with the hors d'oeuvres and the kind of the modern cuisine and get into some tailgate food. I said, hey, you're talking my language. But I ran into a dilemma. See, I was born and raised just outside of Chicago, and I moved to Phoenix, Scottsdale in '95. So, as they say, you can take the boy out of Chicago, but you can't take the Bears fan out of the boy. She'll notice that I am wearing a Kurt Warner Cardinals jersey, future Hall of Famer, seeing Canton Kurt. And of course, I got my man Devin Hester back there as well. Bears are actually coming to town, I think it's December 23rd, and I'm going to wear the Bears jersey then. So tonight, I'm going to wear the Cardinals jersey, and we're going to go ahead and get started. We're doing two recipes today. The first one we're going to do is a shrimp brochette, and this is kind of got an Arizona feel to it. We're going to make it a little spicy, do a little char on it, and then the second one, we're going to do something that's actually really well known in Chicago. It's a Chicago chili bag, and you'll find them all over at tailgates. And let me talk about tailgates for just a minute. Tailgates, in essence, are the greatest food show on earth. There's no food show that compares, because you're not just feeding your friends you go there with, you're feeding anybody that walks up, and it's just this community of people that don't really know each other than they have a distinct love for the game of football. And I've been to a lot of tailgates, both college and pro. It's really weird when you think about a sport where you'll show up to the stadium, 5 hours before it starts just to have some fun. It's very special to me, and they're very different country to country, or pardon me, city to city. So really, we're trying to do something here today. I'm going to show you something we do here in Arizona. Then I'm going to go back to one of my old favorites that we've done for years and years in Chicago. So the first thing we're going to do today is a shrimp brochette. And basically what it is, it's a nice large shrimp. I've got these Gulf shrimp, and these are 21-25s. And what that means is they are 21 to 25 per pound. And that's how you judge them. The smaller the number, the less you're going to have per pound. So if they were 16-20s, you'd have 16 to 20 a pound. They'd be a little bit bigger shrimp. I like 21-25s for this recipe. It's just the right amount, and you save a little money on it. But hey, it's your party. You want to go out and buy big old U10s, which the U means under 10 per pound. I mean, you get huge shrimp like that. But these will work great when you got to feed a lot of people. So the first thing we're going to do with these shrimp, these are peeled and deveined. They just need to be butterflied open. So we're going to take a knife, and I'm just going to cut in there. And we're just going to open up a little butterfly like that. Now, take a half a strip of bacon, and we're going to lay that down, and we're going to lay this open very gently. I'm going to turn the heat up on my pan a little bit here. I'm preheating it. Give me just a second here. There we go. Get that pan good and hot. All right, so what I've got here is some strips of provolone cheese. You could use whatever you want. I used to use pepper jack, but it tended to get too spicy for some people, so I switched to more of a milder cheese. And then I've got strips of just raw jalapeno here, and we're going to set that in there. And actually, you know what? We're going to set that in there, and then we're going to take it, and we're going to use the bacon, and we're going to roll it up, and we're going to secure it off like that. Okay. We're now going to take a toothpick and put it together. I mean, that's how simple it is. The best thing about these, they can be made well ahead of time. The only thing we have to do now is we're going to bronze them, which is it's kind of a Cajun technique. And what that means is we're going to take some blackening spice, and we'll put it in a bowl, or add a touch of oil. All right, and then we're going to use this just to kind of make basically what a bronze would look like, if we're picking that up. To that, what we're going to do is we're going to take these shrimp. I made some up earlier, as you can see. We got a hungry production team that we got to feed, so we'll go out here with all 6 of these guys, and we'll get that out of the way. And basically, just gently want to toss these. Pick up a little bit of that blackening spice flavor. This is a store-bought blackening spice, but honestly, you certainly could make your own. It's really up to you. All right, so the pan feels like it's heating up. We're going to add a touch of canola oil to it. Touch more, yeah. The oil's dancing. You can kind of see it shimmering in the pan. You know you're getting some heat in the pan, and that's what you're looking for. We're just going to really carefully take these bad boys. Hear that? That's what you want to hear right away. You want to hear a little sizzle.
Chef, do you have to use bacon, or can you use something else, or is it not technically a shrimp brochette if you don't use bacon?
Well, the bacon does 2 things. It holds it together, but it does impart a lot of flavor for those that eat bacon. Yeah, anything that you could wrap it up with and sear off, turkey bacon would work if you want to do that. If you want to stay away from meat altogether, I don't know. I can't think off the top of my head that you could wrap it with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you always ask me the tough questions. I never had the answers to. That's all right. I like bacon. Once in a while, it's all right. All right, so this is the boring part. We're just going to let them cook. What's great about these, you can make these up the day before. Because, again, you got to make a lot of them. You want to feed a lot of people. It's not something you're struggling with when you're there. All you got to do there, get there, put the little bronze on them, get them either on your barbecue grill or your flat top, whatever you're cooking on at your tailgate party. The smell of the shrimp, the bacon, the cheese, the jalapeno starts wafting in the air. Trust me, you're going to make friends really easy. But here's the thing about tailgating you may or may not know. It's a barter and trade system. People want to come up that don't know you. They want some food. Well, they better come with hands full, because whatever they're cooking, they better bring you some. If they want some of yours, they just show up for free food. You send them on along the line, and they got to wear the same jersey you're wearing. If they're wearing the opposite team's jersey, they usually get heckled a little bit. It's all in good fun.
Yeah.
It's just sports. That's what's great about it. So these would take about 5 minutes or so to fully cook. So we're going to actually let these cook, and I'm going to come over here and turn this pan on, because this is going to take a little longer to cook. All right. So we're going to kind of combine these recipes. While these are cooking, we're going to go on to the chili bags. Now, a chili bag is exactly that. It's chili in a bag, and you'll see these in Chicago. Add a little canola oil to that. Let that get hot. Everybody does these at Soldier Field. You'll see them all over the place. And as a matter of fact, the bars in the Chicago area, during like the Bears games, will actually have these on their menu. It's a staple. You can go to a bar and you can get a beer or something like that, and a chili bag if you want one, and they're going to be there waiting for you. Let's take a look at these really quick. That's heating up. So we're starting to get a nice brown crust on that bacon.
Those smell so good.
Yeah, because we only used a half a strip of bacon. We kind of stretched the bacon. We put it around it, so it crispens actually pretty quickly. And there's nothing worse than chewy bacon. You want them nice and crispy. So by the time these guys are done cooking, the shrimp should be, by the time the bacon's crisp, those should be set. So let me put the spurs to this a little bit here.
Nico's digging it.
And because we've used the jalapeno to hold the cheese in and we've wrapped it with bacon, you might lose a little bit, but for the most part, you're going to be able to keep that cheese in there and let it melt down. So those are cooking. These got hot. I'm going to go over to the Sub-Zero really quick and get some ingredients. All right. One more. All right.
Nice. So these are all for the
That's all for the chili. I'm
bag?
just getting them out. I want to keep them cold. You get raw meat and stuff there. All right, so this is looking pretty hot. So we got this preheated. We're going to turn this down, just keep it warm. Let's take a look at these shrimp. Can you smell that blackening spice from it? So not only do you got that shrimp, but you got that little char from the bronze. And the Cajuns are notorious for making bronzes and stuff like that. They do a lot of that.
Oh, okay.
In Cajun cooking, at least.
Smells so good.
Yeah, it is good stuff. All right, so we got a plate.
Looks
These are pretty much done. They cook quick, especially when you're doing them in hot oil. I'm going to take these off. You just gently put them on the plate. You're going to make friends doing this. This is something we do here at University of Phoenix Stadium for the Cardinals. It's light. I mean, let's face it. It's, December in, let's say, Chicago, since I'm doing the comparison today, turn the heat off, it's sub-zero, there's snow everywhere, and people are still showing up 4 hours before the game to hang out and tailgate. Well, here in Phoenix, we're a little spoiled. We show up, it's 70 degrees, it's sunny, we're in flip-flops and shorts, So we don't want something big and heavy. We want something that's more light and kind of fun. So that's actually that finished dish. It's a real simple hors d'oeuvre. You saw how easy that was to cook. We prepped it the day before. And trust me, the flavor of the jalapeno, that little spice from it, the spice from the blackening spice, and the kind of the decadence of the shrimp and the crispiness of the bacon, that is really a home run there. I'm going to move this pan off screen here so we can not smoke the place out. All right, so we're going to move on to the chili. This is going to take a little bit longer to prepare. So what we're going to start with, real simply, is some ground sirloin, okay? This is 85-15. It's what I like to use for this dish because a lot of times an 80-20 or something like that is going to be a little too fatty. So you want greasy. You want good but not greasy. So we're going to add that in. All right. We'll step back here. Get this shrimp cutting board out of the way.
So since you don't want something so greasy, could you use like a ground turkey?
Oh, absolutely. I was just going to get to that. You can use ground turkey. You can even use like a vegetarian substitute. There's some great ones on the market now, like ground crumbles. A couple that I like that are meat-free, some are even soy-free, like a vegetable textured protein, works just as good. It's really up to what you want to do. I've done this with ground turkey. And the thing is, I'm going to show you how to make a really quick chili recipe, but by no means would I tell you this is the chili recipe you should use. Use the recipe you're happy with. Chilies are great because there's a million different kinds. So use the one that a family recipe or something that you really like and put in what you want to put in. You may have 45 other ingredients. I'm going to use about 10 here. But honestly, it's really up to you. I want to break this meat up a little bit.
I wonder where the football was.
Yeah, I don't know where that football was. So when did you start? Did you have these as a kid?
Growing up in Chicago, there's certain things like, bratwurst with sauerkraut and hot mustard. That's kind of everything from Illinois, Wisconsin, that whole area, it's been around forever. This is another thing I've been eating since childhood. Like I said, you could go to as a young adult, before I moved to Arizona, a little salt and pepper, guys. During the football games, you would go there and order these because every bar would have them. Like, I'm trying to think of something we do out here. I guess there's really nothing because we're such a transient state for our sports fans. Mm-hmm. But if you go to a bar that's a Packers bar or a Bears bar here in town, you're probably going to find they're going to have bratwurst on the menu. They're going to have stuff like catered to the people who grew up there. And we have so many football fans from all over, especially the Midwest. A lot of people in the Midwest, they want to beat that snow a little bit and get out here and retire or do things like that. So there's definitely a market for it. Okay, so we've got this meat almost completely brown. What we're going to do now is we're going to add some onion and some garlic. And I like to, where's that camera? I like to rough chop my garlic a little bit rather than mincing it up. I like the texture. I'm going to put that in there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to let this finish cooking to get the meat brown. We'll talk about beer for a second. I said I needed a little bit of beer.
Nice.
Yeah, well, I started with a full pitch, and then before we came on air, I drank a third of it. No, I'm kidding. Let me give a shout out locally. This is actually an amber beer. It's a Kill Lifter Scottish Amber, Four Peaks Brewery here in Scottsdale. Scottsdale and Tempe, awesome beer. If it's in your area, check it out. It's really tasty stuff.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, isn't it good?
Yeah.
Really, just an awesome beer. They do a good job over there. So we're going to use it for this recipe, and I want to give a little shout out to those guys because they're good people. So we're cooking this. It's going to take a few more minutes. We really want to get all that meat fully cooked so there's no brown. You can see I'm really breaking it up. All right. So once we know we've got the meat basically brown, we're going to deglaze with a little bit of this beer. And we don't need much, just a touch. Okay, we're going to save this though because as this cooks, it may need to have a little more liquid put into it. So, and I'm from Chicago. We put beer in everything. Get a body like this from
Body by Dennis.
Body, that's
Body
right.
by Dennis. Nice
Body by beer
go.
for sure. That's right. It's so weird though. Like I said, I'm a diehard Bears fan, and I do cheer for the Cardinals. I want them to do well. They're a local team. I love going to University of Phoenix Stadium. But for some reason, my true loyalties never left the Chicago Bears for some reason. Like, I love the Diamondbacks, diehard Diamondbacks fan. And I grew up a Cubs fan, love Wrigley Field, but I mean, my passion is with the Diamondbacks. You know, I like the Suns, even though I love the Bulls growing up during the Michael Jordan era. But for some reason, I don't know what it is, but most football fans are the same way. They'll never change their football team. They can have a second football team, the local team, no matter where they live. When it comes down to it, they're going to stick with their football team. You know what I mean? It's a weird little thing like that.
Yeah, the
All
one
right,
you
so
grew
we've
up with.
reduced the beer. Next thing we're going to add is a little bit of chili seasoning. Now, basically, this is just equal parts of cumin, chili powder, paprika, garlic powder, and onion powder. That's what I use in mine. Use what you use in yours. Heck, you can go buy a little packet if you want. But we're just going to add this in to taste. I'm probably going to add, I don't know, a tablespoon or so of that in there. Let me wipe the hands off. We're going to work that in. Now, the weird thing about this sort of stuff is chili spice will dissipate. And if you've ever watched those chili competitions, they'll talk about it. They'll do what they call a spice dump 2, sometimes 3 times during the cooking process. And it's just one of those things. So the next few ingredients we're going to add, controversial, beans. Beans, no beans, it's really up to you. Beans are good for you. I like kidney beans, so I'm going to put some kidney beans in our chili. You want to put in black beans? Fine. I just probably wouldn't put in green beans, although, I don't know, maybe I'll take that back. Maybe there's a great green bean recipe for chili out there that I don't know about, so. But anyhow, I like beans in my chili, so we're going to put some beans in there. Work those in. All right, so we've got tomato puree. We're going to add that. And we got diced tomatoes in their juice. We're going to add those. All right. Dry the hand off here. All right, so those were obviously cold because they just came out of the refrigerator.
So I'm really intrigued by this. Did your dad take you to a game and he made these for you, or did you guys go to a bar in the area and rest?
Well, my granddad owned several bars back in the area, and they were like, they were little hole-in-the-wall places, but it was just the kind of place where you could get I never went because I was a kid, but I'd go visit my granddad at these places. It was the beer and shot, kind of the steel workers, and it's just one of those things, I guess if you were born there, you've always heard about them, you've always knew about them. I don't remember where I first heard about them. I've eaten a gazillion of them in my day, you know what I mean? And, you can, like I said, it doesn't have to necessarily be this one. You can make up your own recipe and come up with it. This is going to need to come back to the boil and simmer, but you want to taste it to make sure you know where you're at, so. Definitely need salt and pepper.
What's your favorite team, Beth?
My favorite team? Oh, don't put me on the spot, Nico.
What's that?
He asked what my favorite team was.
What was it?
I don't know. My resolution is to get more into football this year.
Well, he didn't say football, did he? You got any team you like?
I
Any
used
sport?
to be a huge Suns fan.
There you go.
Kevin likes the Lakers.
What about Nico?
Yeah, what about Nico?
Well, Nash went to the Lakers, so I'm a Suns Lakers fan now. So
Ah, he's a Nash fan.
I'm a Nash fan.
That's interesting. National Lakers, and now I guess they got Dwight Howard. Be a pretty good team, I bet.
Yeah.
That's all right. We're hoping the Suns will be a pretty good team too. So we're gonna check again. Oh, that's starting to taste like chili. Now, excuse me. At this stage, we'd want to turn the heat down, and we want to let that simmer, probably a half hour. And then you're gonna add if it starts to dry and look like it's not moist enough, little splashes of beer to keep it going. Obviously, for the interest of time, we can't exactly go and let this simmer for a half hour. And you stare at me, I can tell you jokes, but let's face it, I'm not a comedian, I'm a chef. So what we're gonna do, I think we'll transfer this if I can get this back burner to light. There we go. The transfer is back here, so I can turn this heat off. We're gonna let that cook. Okay, so again, we let this simmer for about 30 minutes. I'm trying to give it as long as I can to reduce and kind of develop some flavors. You've got a really nice chili there. You can maybe even use a little more spice, so put the rest of that spice in there. That out of the way, that out of the way. All right.
Chef, we have a question from Bill. He wanted to know if you can use other chips, or do you traditionally just do it with Fritos, or?
No, this is the
mix it.
Chicago way, but that's actually a great question because the answer is yeah. I mean, really, this is the again what I talk about. This is the technique. Use your own style to it. you know, I've done ones where you use like tortilla chips. Instead of doing a chili, you do like a taco bar. You do nacho, you know, you do like taco meat with your green onions, your diced tomato, your jalapenos, your green onion, your cheese, all that good stuff. Sour cream, guacamole, salsa, and you can do it that way. So really, use barbecue chips and come up with a recipe. It's really up to you. If you were going to use something like a potato chip, like barbecue or something like that, I'd probably go with a with like a kettle cut chip that's a little bit more durable than like the thin type potato chips, because those are going to hit, that hot liquid's going to hit them and just really melt them down. So we want something that's a little more hardy, and I'd use kettle chips if you're going to do that. Okay, so for the interest of time, we're going to go ahead and start to work through this. So I've got some handy dandy corn chips here. What we're going to do is just going to open these up. You guys have all seen this before. All right, so this is what we do. You know, like I said, we put this all out on a table, excuse me, and we'd have all the condiments there, and we just invite either on the back of your tailgate or on a table. People would walk up, you can see the bags, you know what they're serving, and you want to judge them. It's like the sweet little old ladies that have the pie contest. They want to judge each other's pies, you know what I mean? And talk smack behind their back. That's what they do. So you would walk up, and of course you got to bring some food in your hand, a broth or something. Hey, give us a shot. Hey, go ahead, help yourself. So we take this, and we just take a little bit of that chili, we put it right down there in that bag. I'll do a couple scoops because I haven't had lunch yet. All right? And then all your different toppings here. I've got cheese. I've got a little sour cream, my favorite jalapenos, and some onions. So what I would do is dump a bunch of onions in there, a whole lot of cheese. I like the cheese. Some jalapenos. Then I would use a little bit of sour cream on the end, like that. And then these are actually, they're fancy because Sub-Zero Wolf gave them to us. They're silver, they're disposable, these are plastic. We throw a fork in there, then you can just grab this, you can just walk around the tailgate, just bebopping and you know, eating away. Reminds me of home, so good.
That is so cool.
Yeah, and you can just hang out, it's so much fun. Yeah. There we go, I took a bite out of it.
Oh,
yeah,
wait,
and the cheese
can we
will
get
melt
that
with the
shot
thing.
again?
It's so much fun.
Can we get that shot again?
Yeah.
Nice.
But anyhow, they're just a lot of fun. Like I said, you could use your tortilla chips and do like a nacho bar. It's a lot of fun to see people bebopping around Soldier Field all the time carrying these things. I mean, I've seen them for years and years, and I'm gonna eat lunch while we're talking here.
That is so cool.
And Fritos are such a compliment such a compliment to chili. You'll go into, like I said, bars in the area, and you'll be able to buy it just like this. They'll bring it out to you at your table, and you can sit there and watch the game, have a beer. Speaking of which, I didn't bring a cup up. I should have brought a cup.
Oh, man.
That's okay. I'll wait till we're off there before I have my beer.
You can just drink right out of the pitcher there.
That reminds me of home.
Drinking out of pitchers?
That was funny. No, eating chili out of a bag. But anyhow, it's the only downside to it. It's hard to set down, so you want to eat it.
Oh, yeah.
But it's meant to walk around and eat. So, anyhow, that is basically the 2 tailgate recipes I want to show you today. It's really up to you guys to figure out what you want to do with them. Excuse me, I'm still trying to swallow. You know, what else can we do? We do the nacho bar. It's really popular. What else have I seen? Cheetos, the crunchy, cheesy Cheetos.
Yeah.
And they'll do like a like mac and cheese on top of them, and throw, you know, have all sorts of things like green onions and bacon. And you can do that. And that's a twist I've seen before, where you know, so it's really fun. So you walk around the tailgate, you walk around this parking lot. It's freezing cold out. You got a beer in one hand, you got this, you're trying to eat it all. And you'll see the bag, and you're like, oh, that's a chili bag. You'll see a tortilla bag, or, you know, but I remember seeing Cheetos. I'm like, hey, what's in your Cheetos bag? It's like, oh, it's mac and cheese. And I'm like, where'd you get that?
Mac and cheese.
Yeah, I'm like, where did you get that mac and cheese Cheetos from? Like, oh, the guy's over there. I'm like, I gotta go find some food to trade with them, you know, so.
Yeah.
Tailgating's a really wonderful thing. It's something I really enjoy, and I can't wait. We got a couple more weeks, and we'll be, fortunately, we'll have to tailgate the first few in like 110-degree heat, or whatever it is here in Phoenix, but I'll trade that for the 70s in January. I spent many years freezing cold in Chicago, so.
You can cook the chili on the hood of your car.
You basically could. Just right on the manifold. Yeah, just heat the chili up that way.
Yeah.
So that's it. I want to thank you guys for tuning into Foodies Live, and got some food here to feed the staff with, and we'll see you real soon. Thanks.
Definitely. Bye. Well, thank you, Chef Dennis. It's always awesome having you on, and these are so cool. I feel like I was gypped as a kid now. But definitely have to make some sort of version of that. Absolutely. But thanks again, guys, for tuning in, and we'll be back next week at noon with some burgers for Labor Day. So be sure to tune in. Thanks again.
That's a little out of your league, don't you think?
The whole salmon.
You do have a backup plan though, right? You know, like catering. Do they even like fish?
Make your meals, even the ambitious ones, come out just right.
You're actually enjoying this, aren't you?
The power, finesse, and ease of Wolf cooking instruments
Okay.
leave no room for doubt.
You've changed.